Hey everyone, for this week's assignment I will be sharing a story that has really affected my proficiency as a student and has paid dividends throughout my college experience. Growing up, I was one of those insufferable jerks that really never had to study for anything in order to pass it. I would take the hardest classes that I could, and most of the time I was still pretty bored academically. But during my junior year, I decided that I would take calculus, which took up half of my available courses. Pre-calculus had been really easy for me, and I went into calculus with my usual arrogant persona, thinking that I wouldn't need to work very hard in order to do well in it. Our class was set up so that if we passed the AP test at the end of the year, our teacher would retroactively go back and change our grades to A's, which I thought was pretty great. I was normally very good at taking tests, and like I said, didn't normally need to study in order to do well with those. As the class went along, I was finding that I wasn't actually doing as well as I normally did with my classes. In fact, I was doing horribly. Uh, Along with most of the class, it was just such a difficult course that I was finding that because I wasn't working at it, I wasn't understanding the concepts. About halfway through the course, I was talking to my teacher about this, and she said to me, "You know, Matt, if you would just study, you wouldn't be struggling as much with these concepts." And I know this seems like a really obvious observation to tell me, but it was really a revelatory moment for me. I decided that I was going to study for the next test that we were having just to try it out. I carved out some time in my schedule to study, and I worked really hard intellectually to understand the concepts and make sure that I was able to do all of them. And I remembered going into the test having a unique feeling of being completely confident as I took it. I ended up acing the test and went up to my teacher to talk about it afterwards. She told me that she knew that if I just applied myself, I'd be able to accomplish great things. Now, I still actually have that test. It's right here. I keep it as a reminder that if I really apply myself and I work hard, then I can accomplish great things. I can't say that I always study for every single test that I have. I still don't really need to for a lot of stuff. But I do know that if I'm faced with something challenging, that if I apply myself and work hard, that I'm really able to overcome the challenges that are placed in front of me.